What's up, issue? For today's video, with a full Tarountula evolution team, we've got Tarountula and Spidops. These Pokemon are not the strongest ones ever, and the abilities, we got Insomnia and Stakeout, so nothing super amazing there. This is a very, very hard team to use because they didn't really deal a lot of damage. Even Spidops is more a support style Pokemon, so it was difficult. So I'll be using 2 Tarountula and 2 Spidops on this team of 4 Pokemon. I managed to get 6 battles with this team that I thought were interesting, and I hope you enjoy. First battle here, this is on the Poke Portal. This was a no restrictions battle, so they had 6 Pokemon, so a couple of them weren't level 100, but they had level 100 as well, and it was still quite an interesting battle. Now, Magmortar is going to be their first Pokemon, so even at level, was it level 77 here, this Pokemon could still one-shot virtually nearly my entire team, right? So Tarountula doesn't really get a lot of moves itself. I was just using this to set up a sticky web or any entry hazard. So this first one was an Insomnia set. So we got Counter, Sucker Punch, Toxic Spikes, and Sticky Web with the Insomnia. So max attack and max speed, hasty nature. So I had the Sucker Punch here to try and get a bit of damage, but then the Magmortar used Smoke Screen. I was like, what the heck? So I don't know whether they predicted a Sucker Punch. I'm not sure why they did that move for, but I don't know, maybe they did expect that. And then they're going to follow up with a Lava Plume. So that's going to be the end of Tarountula. And now I've only got 3 Pokemon left, facing down a powerful, super effective move. So I thought, all right, we'll go into my next Tarountula. The first one was Terra Ghost, by the way, so I could get maybe a counter KO with it. In this case, it was difficult because this Pokemon doesn't learn anything like Mirror Code, so I couldn't cheese any of the special attackers. So we're going to set up Spikes here. I had quite a few entry hazards going on this team because it did need the support, and I had the Spidops obviously doing the most of the work if there wasn't any, physical attackers around. So I went for Sucker Punch again, and they're going to do the little Smoke Screen again here. I have no idea why they got Smoke Screen, but it was pretty funny actually. What do you guys think of Spidops, or like what's your favorite spider Pokemon? Let me know in the comment section. I don't know, I just feel like Spidops is quite a very, very forgettable Pokemon. Probably, I would say it's probably one of the weakest Pokemon in Gen 9, along with like Blood Trio. It's a support Pokemon, and that's about it. So we got a signature move here, Silk Trap, I had to give it that. Circle Throw, Spikes, and Toxic Spikes. This is a very, very bulky special defensive set, so I was actually able to live one of Magma's moves, Magmortar's moves, which was pretty cool, and I had a red card. So that sort of auto-swapped out the Magmortar. Sort of put the problem off for a bit later, right? And in comes Deoxys here, normal Deoxys actually. It's got them spaghetti arms. Now, this was a problem. So I got a bit of damage here with Spikes, which is good. It's got the, obviously it's got the pressure ability. So this one had Silk Trap, Circle Throw, Spikes, and Toxic Spikes. Stakeout ability, so I use Stakeout and Red Card. It was a pretty good combination. Got some damage, and yeah, that was about it. So I went for Silk Trap just to see what Deoxys was going to do here. Deoxys is going to go for Thunder Wave, so like, I didn't expect that. So they've got some interesting moves going on here. So my Spidops wasn't really going to outspeed anything. It was a max health, and this was quite a defensive set. So we had max health, max defense, and sassy nature. So then the Deoxys started setting up iron defense, like, what the heck? But I had Circle Throw, right? So that's going to swap the Deoxys out. So that was kind of nice. They were trying to make a bulky Deoxys. So props to them there. And then they're going to bring in their Lapras here. So Lapras at least was weak to Circle Throw. And I had some, reasonable special defense here. And this was Terra Normal, by the way. The reason I did Terra Normal is only would be weak to fighting, and not many people are going to use fighting moves against Bug, or at least right away. So I got some Toxic Spikes going there. I got some Spikes damage. I've got a super effective Circle Throw. This is one of the another one of the underlevel Pokemon that they brought, but still there was some powerful Pokemon still to come here, right? Like that Deoxys. So they're going to use Primarina's signature move there. I just thought this might be a good opportunity to set a couple more Spikes on the field, because I mean I could do some good damage with Circle Throw, but I could always come in with my last Spidops and hopefully clean up here. I had sort of a strategy that might be able to get me back into this game. So I'm setting up all the entry hazards as possible here, and I've got Spikes and Toxic Spikes, which is good, and really Spidops does need it because it only has 79 base in attack. So even if you even if you max his attack, it just simply does not hit very hard. So I managed to live a couple of attacks there thanks to Lapras being a little bit underleveled, and I managed to get like 2 layers of Toxic Spikes and what was that, like 3 layers of Spikes up or 2 layers up. And yeah, obviously I'm going to faint this turn, but we're going to see if we can get ourselves a reverse, a Spidops sweep here. We're going to go for that. So Lapras is going to go for the Freeze Dry here on my Spidops, and that is the end of my my first Spidops, and we got 1 Spidops left. So my Spidops has to take out another bunch of Pokemon here. So we're going to send this one in. This is my sweeping set, and I say that pretty loosely. This is max health and max attack, Adamant Nature. We've got Leech Life, Sucker Punch, Terra Blast, and a Trailblaze. So Trailblaze is going to be the way I increase its speed. And yeah, I've got Insomnia on this set too. So this actually has a pretty cool shiny. I don't mind the shinies on both of these. And then they brought in their Lunala here. Now, Lunala, normally I wouldn't be able to feint this thing at all, but since I had the spikes and the toxic spikes and stuff like that, I could go for a Sucker Punch and it'll be 4 times super effective at level 100. So like, this is going to be really, really good. I might be able to get the KO here. So I went for it and it lived on 1 health. It was so close. Now I'm going to be taking the Moongeist Beam here. However, I did have an Assault Vest, and with max health and Assault Vest and base 86 and special defense, it actually tanked it really, really well. So that is going to be the end of the Lunala there. So 2 Pokemon down to the Spidops so far. We're getting there. We're trying to get the sweep. Now, I had Terra Water on this because I thought that'd be the best Terra I could run. So in comes Deoxys. It's going to be floating. So obviously I won't outspeed this. I thought they could try and do Iron Defense here, but if they try that, they're eventually going to faint to the Toxic. So maybe it'd be a best idea if I just straight up go for Sucker Punch, or do I go for Leech Life to get my health back? You know, I decided to go for Leech Life in case they went for that, and then they went for Psychic. But I ate that Psychic like a snack, like really, really nicely, and Deoxys is going to get 1 shot of this. That's great, and I'm going to get the health back too. I'm almost on the around the same health that I had before. So that's 3 Pokemon down. Very, very good there. Now, the next Pokemon that come out here is going to be a Metagross. So Metagross is, it's probably got some sort of steel or psychic type moves. I got a bit of spikes damage there. I've got Sucker Punch and I've got Leech Life. I felt like I could go for Sucker Punch here, but if they went for a setup move, you know, it could have been bad. Or I could go for a Terra Water here, resist the Steel type move that could be coming my way, and then go for Leech Life. So that's what I decided to do. The Metagross was a couple of little levels under 100, but still was going to be hitting me really. It was a Spidops team, right? Virtually, the Tarantulas were virtually useless in this battle outside a couple of like entry actors. So I'm going for Leech Life. I managed to outspeed thanks to that Trailblaze because, you know, Spidops is very slow with only 35 base speed. Then the Metagross had a berry. I was like, wait, what berry is that? And it's a citrus berry, so it's going to get some help back in. Now it's going to be a special set going for Flash Cannon. So that probably wouldn't have done too much if I didn't Terra Water, but still, I couldn't take the chance here there, you know? So I'm going for Leech Life. I'm getting a good amount of health back here. I'm sure they've got a Psychic move, and then they went Agility. So I'm like, all right, they're going to try and outspeed me. So that's going to give the Metagross a +2 in speed. I do have Sucker Punch. I thought maybe they're going to just attack this turn. So I went for Sucker Punch, and, you know, that's going to be enough to take out the Metagross, which is good. So we've got that Magmortar left there with Flamethrower, which is definitely not going to feint me, but I don't know if they've got Thunderbolt or not or anything. So the last Pokemon that we haven't seen yet is going to be Keldeo. So Keldeo is a water-type Pokemon, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what I can really do to this. I mean, I've got some spikes damage, sure. I've got some, you know, toxic spikes. All I had left is Trailblaze. I thought, well, Trailblaze will be all right. So I went for that. Great damage there. The next one, I can definitely take it out. And the Keldeo, that's in its Resolute form, went for a Sword Dance there. Now it also had the leftovers as the item too. So I thought, well, another Trailblaze, I should be able to. You know, this should be pretty close to actually taking the Keldeo out. Very, very close, right? So I've got that Trailblaze there. I'm going to go first, and I actually didn't take it out. It actually managed just to live there. So I got another speed boost. I was confident I could live any attack they did to me, and then they went for a Sacred Sword. No, a Secret Sword. So that was actually a special attack there. So I guess they figured they changed their mind about using I don't know what sort of physical move would have even a fighting move, maybe a Sacred Sword, but I doubt that would have taken me out regardless. I had enough like base bulk there to live that. So their last Pokemon's going to be Magmortar. Magmortar had already taken some previous damage before, and I had a couple of, as you can see, I had like, what, +3 or 4 in speed? Actually, no, I had +3, so I used 1, 2, 3. I used 2 against the carry, so I had +3 here. Now they're going to go for a Terra, so I'm like, is this going to be something like Terra Grass? I don't really know, right? So they've got Terra Fighting. So I would have never, ever guessed Terra Fighting, but I guess that does resist, it does resist that Leech Life, but I was just going to go for Terra Blast Water anyway. So Terra Blast Water is going to be enough to take out the Magmortar, and that is the very first battle. So a very interesting, curious battle there. I didn't think I was going to win that because I know they had a couple of underlevel Pokemon, but they had a lot of level 100s as well, and I couldn't even use my Tarantulas there. So that was a pretty good comeback there, and all those entry hazards really actually helped me out a lot. Next battle here, I have no idea who my opponent's name is. Maybe someone can translate the names again. Thank you to those who always do that. We've got a Flutter Lame lead here. So once again, another no restrictions battle. So I had a run of battles that were just all no restrictions. So if you don't know what that means, right, had a couple of questions on some of my other videos this week. You have 2 options for the single battles, right? You have normal rules, which elevates everyone's Pokemon to level 50, regardless of what level are, and caps them there. With a no restrictions battle, you can use any level Pokemon. So, level 1 or level 100. Sometimes I've done it myself. I've used level 1 Pokemon so I could do some strategies and things like that, like Endeavor and Fear strategies. Anyway, so we had this Flutter Lane, which is going to faint me here. Obviously, even at a low level, it's still a very threatening Pokemon. I managed to get some good damage on it. So this time I was like, let's go into Spidops here. I can swap this out, at least with my red card. I can't do any damage to it because, I've only got Circle Throw, but I should be able to tank these moves okay and maybe set a couple of entry hazards up. So I decided here, I was like, should I go for Circle Throw on the incoming Pokemon and get some good damage with Stakeout, or should I set some entry hazards up? And I'm glad that, I'm so glad that another Ghost-type Pokemon coming. I was like, well, at least I can, deal with that with my Sucker Punch Pokemon, right? So I went for Toxic Spikes because I knew there was a small chance that, that can happen, knowing my amazing luck. So we got Toxic Spikes up, another one up, and we're dealing with another Lunala here. So I don't expect Spidops to be living for too many turns here, maybe like 2 more. So this was also, a couple. There was a couple of Pokemon that also weren't level 100, but then again, I was only bringing 4 Pokemon, right? So it was still very, very difficult, Pokemon to go up against. So I'm getting some more spikes up here, which is good. Lunala can probably take me out in another couple of hits here. So they're going to go for Moonblast this time. Moonblast is not doing very much because of stab, and I think I usually, in these situations, I just use the spike. I just set up with spikes because that helped the Spidops actually maybe get 1 hit, 1 to 2 hit KOs. It wasn't very powerful, right? So here comes another Moonblast there. The next attack obviously is going to take out my Spidops, and I went for 3 layers of spikes there. So that was pretty nice to, to actually set up. I don't know, they could do, I reckon there could be like a branch evolution of Tarountula to make like, a more offensive version of Spidops. I don't know, that'd be pretty cool. So here I'm like, well, I can't do much. I mean, I can go for Silk Trap and that's about it. I'm just going to sack it off, right? It's sort of, its purpose is done, right? So Spidops set all its entry hazards up. I've got 2 Pokemon left. I haven't even fainted a Pokemon yet. So once again, things are not looking too good. And there was some powerful Pokemon, and powerful and bulky Pokemon there in the back. So I'm just going to go into Spidops now. I feel like I might need my other Tarountula for counter and Focus Sash. So they're going to use Moonblast again. This is my Assault Vest set. It's going to do nothing to me at all. Wasn't never concerned about that. I'm just going to use Trailblaze here and get my speed up. So at least I might have a little chance of actually being able to outspeed the next Pokemon, possibly. So I can go for Trailblaze again. They're going to keep going for Moonblast. I mean, I don't have any special moves. I could tank virtually all their moves anyway, so it didn't matter whether they use Moongeist Beam or whatever. So I got +2 here in speed, which is good, but I could easily still get outspeed. Usually Spidops needed about 4 of them to outspeed, almost everything. So in comes Flutter Lane here. Flutter Mane. It's going to be poison. So I've got Sucker Punch on this, which is going to be good. It's already taken, it's taken a lot of damage already, so it's kind of easy picking. So I thought maybe I should go for Trailblaze again. But then I was like, nah, maybe should I take any more damage or not. I didn't want to risk it, right? Because if I lost this, that was game over, right? So that is Floodot. They were probably the two easier Pokemon to take out. Now, the next one to come out here is going to be Articuno. So Articuno is pretty good here because it's going to have some kind of flying move. So I've got Terra Blast Water. At least I can resist that and then Terra Blast it. I feel like 2 Terra Blasts should be enough to take it out around that with Adam and Nature. That was, and then I might be at least the flying move. If they're going to use a flying move, it would be neutral, not super effective, right? So I get that Terra Blast Water, and we're going to go for that real quick here. But I knew that I wouldn't fade it. No way, it's Spidops. So I got some good damage there. Here comes Hurricane, like I kind of expected. That doesn't do a lot of damage, and I didn't get confused, which is good. So my Assault Vest and my little bit of extra level is saving me at the moment. Again, at least against these Pokemon. There was some very, very powerful ones in the back there that I was worried about. And I also didn't really want to Terra this either, but I had to, because there was a Pokemon that was an electric type, right? I didn't want to Terra this, but, Articuno coming out sort of, that sort of forced my hand there. So the next Pokemon, of course, is going to be Zekrom. And Zekrom's actually floating at the moment. So this is definitely using an electric move against me. And there's no way I'm going to be able to live that, right? And I was thinking, well, I've got nothing really to hit it with apart from Leech Life. So I'm going for Leech Life. I actually get some pretty good damage there. I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to faint here, at least my Tarountula can, take that out. They are going to go for a Bolt Strike here. So Bolt Strike is easily going to take me out. Man, that could have been 20 levels low and I still would have died there. So, it's a Zekrom, all right? So that is the end of my Spidops. So all I've got left now is my Tarountula. Now, Tarountula does have Sucker Punch, but there is no way it's going to be able to take this out. This has got very, very nice natural bulk too. So I've got Counter and I've got Sucker Punch. I thought, well, I could try Sucker Punch or I could try Counter. Let's go Counter. Bolt Strike actually misses here. So I'm like, oh, I could have got a Sucker Punch. I could have got a free Sucker Punch off there, which really, really sucks. So Zekrom's going to take some more toxic damage. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for Sucker Punch here, obviously, this time it probably won't miss, right? My luck, right? And I got that, and the Bolt Strike missed twice in a row. That was very, very lucky. So Zekrom is actually going to faint there, which is really, really nice. So I still got my counter Pokemon intact, which is really, really cool. So the next Pokemon to come out against my Tarountula wasn't exactly the greatest matchup. It was Terrapagus. I was like, that sucks, right? So the only way for me to win this would be for it to use a physical move there. Then I could bypass the Terra Shell ability. I wouldn't have to, if you still use Counter or Miracle, it doesn't matter, right? So I've got Sucker Punch here. They took some big damage, but this is going to be their Terra. And this thing gets like so much. It's kind of comparative to like Zygarde, when it goes into its perfect form. It gets like a ton of health, right? And this thing is a beast in health. It's just a big old health tank, right? So most of the time, this Pokemon does run special moves, so I wasn't very confident that I was going to be able to get this. So Tarountula obviously is going to be living on its Focus Sash here. Obviously, I tried for the counter because I had absolutely nothing to lose at this point. I only had Sucker Punch, which is going to do nothing. And yeah, even if I went for Sucker Punch there, it was going to do very, very minimal damage. So my last turn here is to go for the Sucker Punch. They still have one other Pokemon left there. It was actually a physical attacker too. I think it was a Zacian, and I knew that I could take that Zacian out, right? But this was the problem Pokemon. However, they sent this out before the Zacian, and that's going to be the end of Tarountula. But still, that was a pretty good effort there. I took out 4 Pokemon on their team, and I only had 4 Pokemon. Technically, I really only had like 2 that could even do anything. So, another interesting battle there. Let's get on to the next battle. This battle, my opponent bought 3 Pokemon. Their team was a very, very good counter to my team, though. So, all of their Pokemon they had on the team were great counter. So, it really didn't matter if they brought 1 Pokemon or 10 Pokemon, right? But I was like, let's give this a go anyway. They've got a Gengar lead, which also is fairly good for this team because they got a lucky Curse Body at the start there. And they also know that I've got Sucker Punch there, so it's pretty easy to work around. So there's going to be a standard sweaty Gengar set going for a Sludge Wave here. I managed to live that one and not get poisoned, which is always good. I was like, well, they might expect me there to swap or not. So I decided to just stay in there because I could have gone for Sucker Punch again and done some good damage to them, but they got Curse Body. So that was a pretty lucky start for them there. So going to my next Spidops here, I thought I could go try Sucker Punch here. I have nothing to hit them with, right? As you can see, I do no damage with my other attack, so I was forced to use that. Now they're going to go for a Destiny Bond here, so I don't know, I guess they expected me to have some kind of move to flank them apart from Sucker Punch, which maybe they don't know. I feel like they don't really know Spidops Moveset at all well. They're just using they're just using the top Pokemon. Usually a lot of the time when you face people, they only really have knowledge on the best Pokemon, not sort of like the lowest one. So I went for Trailblaze there to try and outspeed it. I'm going to need at least another three to outspeed it. So I'm going for Sucker Punch here. Obviously I can't do much here. Now they're going to go for Encore. So they had a very, very easy counter around my team there. They already seen Sucker Punch earlier on. They went for Destiny Bond there for some reason. And yeah, we're going to have to swap out the Spidops there. I can't do anything. They've got an easy matchup. We're going to go to the next Spidops. As you know, this one doesn't have any Moveset Gengar either. So it was a disaster, right? And now they're going to go for a Timmy Terra here. Now that they've got an easy, easy advantage, and they're going to go for a Terra Fairy. So at least I can use some moves against them now. But the problem is they're a faster Pokemon. They've got a spammable, super effective Sludge Wave, a powerful Sludge Wave there, and they've also got Destiny Bomb too. So I was like, my goal here is to try and take this Gengar out. If I can fake this Gengar, that's going to be a win for me, right? That's an easy counter to my team. We actually had this living with the red card, so they'll force a swap at least. And then we had the Incineroar come in, another easy counter to my team. So like, all right, well, I've got one Tarountula left. I know that I can take this out. I bet you they don't know that I'm going to go for counter. They probably don't even know what Tarountula's moveset is, or moves that it learns are. So I've got Circle Throw, no point doing that. I'm going to get outspeed here anyway, and they're going to go for the Flame Charge. I was kind of hoping they'd go for Flare Blitz there to use up a bit of health, but it is what it is, right? So I'm going to go into my next Pokemon being Tarountula. So Tarountula has got counter. They can't use Fake Out. Any physical move is going to do tons of damage to this thing. And yeah, I got the counter kill, which is going to be awesome. So that is the end of their Incineroar. But they still have their Gengar left there. And Gengar was a very, very, as you can see, I virtually was walled by this thing. All they had to do was just work around one attacking move there. I'm sort of looking up Spidops now. I don't even think that it gets much. It does get knockoff though, but it was difficult to run knockoff on this team because when you're running a team that has virtually no speed, it wasn't really the best option there. They needed like 4 or 5 Trailblazers to even take it out. So I went for Sucker Punch here just to get some damage, and outspeed it. And this is going to be a typical Gengar set. So it's got Shadow Ball and Sludge Wave, Destiny Bond, and some other coverage. Probably like Terra Blast Fairy or something like that. So my last Pokemon is Spidops. Now it's like, are they going to go for Sludge Wave or are they going to go to Destiny Bond? It doesn't really matter because they only brought 3 Pokemon along here. I think their other Pokemon was a heavy counter to my team too. So I was like, you know what? If I can take 2 Pokemon out, I'm really happy with that. That was very, very good. So I was thinking about doing Terra Blast Water. Like there's a good chance they might go for Destiny Bond. Should I go for Sucker Punch there just to see? I could try and go for Trailblaze to outspeed them, but the Trailblaze now being neutral to it probably would have taken it out in a couple of hits, right? So I decided to go for the Terra Blast Water just to feint the Gengar. And if they went for the Destiny Bond, that was perfectly fine. I was happy to take 2 Pokemon out, right? Such a great counter. So the Gengar went for the Destiny Bond here, and that is going to be the end of the Spidops on the Gengar on the same turn. But I felt like I did pretty good there. Gengar probably could have swept my entire team there by itself, but I managed to take out Incineroar and Gengar too. So that was definitely a win in my books there. I guess maybe if I had like another Spidops and another Tarountula, I might have been okay, but that Tarantulas, if they didn't really do much, like if they wasn't a physical attacker around, they were virtually dead weight. Because you'd find a lot of time you'd have like a sticky over it. But anyway, just an interesting battle there, just showing how well I did against some of those like mega counters. Let's get on to battle number 4 here. We had another random battle here, and they've got a Mew lead. So this is a bad type matchup here. I've got Sucker Punch, but I don't know what Mew's going to do, because it could be physical, special, setup. It could be a lot of things. It's Mew. It learns a ton of moves. So I thought about this for a bit. I thought, what's more important? And then they went for Aura Sphere, which I have no idea why they went for Aura Sphere. That one really threw me off. Maybe they don't even know what Tarountula is, right? I guess I find a lot of the people that I battle, they'll either have their you know, they'll use their same 20 Pokemon, but they don't know abilities or what moves they have or whatever. I have no idea. Or maybe it was a misclick too. Anyway, Tarountula is down regardless there. Or maybe they thought I had a sash or something, but, you know, actually, if I had Miracle, it would have been fine, but that's how it was, right? So we're going to go to Spidops here. This is the Circle Throw one. I really need to get some entry hazards up here too. So Mew's just going to keep spamming Psychic. I can leave a couple of those, but not too many, you know, like that's going to be a problem. So red card is going to be activated there. I don't have any entry hazards on the field, so it's not going to work too well. So in comes Reveroom. So in the team preview, I did see they had Reveroom, and that, I didn't want to set up the Toxic Spikes, right? Because that wasn't going to be, you know, too useful. So I thought, well, Spikes is going to be sort of my go here. And maybe Sticky Web. You know, the Toxic Spikes is probably not going to be that great until I get rid of this. This is also a non-restrictions battle, but this opponent had, you know, level 100s, right? So I've got the Circle Throw and Spikes. I was like, let's just go for that. And then they use Gyro Bomb. Well, Gyro Ball, that was a critical hit. So Gyro Ball is going to do nothing to Spidops because it's based on speed, right? And Spidops is very slow. I didn't put any speed into at least into this one, you know, whatsoever. So now they're going to go for Iron Head. That's doing a lot more. They're going for a flinch, and of course they got it on the very first try. So I went for Spikes again, but, you know, it wasn't good, right? So I've lost 2 of my team, haven't even taken a Pokemon out yet. So once again, a super duper hard sort of situation. So I was like, all right. What can I do? I know they've got Iron Head. I've got Counter. Hopefully they go for that again. They don't. Even if they go for Gyro Ball, right, it's still going to do something. But hopefully they go for Iron Head. So they did go for Iron Head. The only thing wrong here is if they did get a flinch. That was the only thing I was kind of concerned about. But I needed this down, right? So I managed to get the counter off, and Reveroom was my first KO. So that was good. That was the best roll that Tarountula could do here. And it got rid of, you know, Zacians, Koraidon, you know, physical attackers, right? So in comes King Toilet. It's got Sticky Web. I was like, oh, I hope it doesn't have a Defiant or something like that. It's going to get hurt by the Spikes, and it's got Supreme Overlord instead, which is, you know, somewhat better, right? So I've got Sucker Punch. I thought, well, maybe they'll try Sucker Punching me. I could go Spikes, or maybe I should use Sucker Punch myself. So I actually outsped this thing, which is pretty funny. I thought they'd go for Sucker Punch, but I got another Spikes up, so I was happy with that. Now they're going to spam Iron Head, and that's the end of Tarountula. So I thought, all right, I've got Spidops left. I can go Terra Water to resist the Iron Head at least, but then they're going to start going for stuff like Sucker Punch. I don't know if they've got Sucker Punch. I reckon they've got Kotal Cleave at this point. They would have used it. And I've got Leech Life. That's virtually it. Like, King Gambit's going to be hitting really, really hard too. So I'm going to have to go for Terra to resist that and, you know, try and take it out. What I really need here is I need that Mew to come back in, and I need to get my health back with Leech Life. That's the only way I've got a chance of being able to stay in this battle, right? So I went for the Terra Water. I went for Leech Life instead. I changed my mind. I wanted to get some damage off here. I didn't want to reveal Terra Water just yet either. So they went for the obvious Iron Head, which is fine. I've got Leech Life again. I thought about that. Like, that's going to be the best move to go for. So it was a 3-hit KO. Pretty impressive, actually. For a Spidops, you know, not doing a lot of damage. And King Gambit's actually got some pretty impressive bolts too. So they're going to go for Night Slash. I was like, okay. I'm glad that one didn't crit right, because that would have almost fainted me. So some more health bag there, and of course King Gambit lived on 1 health. I found this. That was a 4-hit KO with the Adamant Spidops. So I don't even know. I mean, I feel like they definitely are running health EVs, but man, it wasn't good, right? So I thought about this. Let's go for Trailblaze now. I need that speed. And I've got Sticky Web and I've got +1, so I might be able to start outspeeding a couple of things there. But, you know, as you know, it's very slow, so it might not be good enough. So next Pokemon to come in is going to be Infernape. I'm like, oh no. But the only good thing is I've got Terra Blast Water, but will it faint it in one shot? It could, because Infernape, you know, it's taken some Spikes damage. So I went for the Terra Water, and they went for a Fire Spin. I think they were trying to disrespect me. Like, they were trying to feint me with a really, really weak move or trolling me, but that one backfired big time. So they're like that. I've done that before. Like, I've sent a Pokemon on a bit of health. I'm like, I'm going to feint them with a not very effective move, and it's failed. So I think that's what they did, or they misclicked. I have no idea. Anyway, Infernape went down there, and Mew's going to come in. So I thought, well, I can at least go for the Leech Life against this Pokemon, right? So some more Spikes damage, which is good. It's actually already lost half its health. Mew outspeeds me and goes for Aura Sphere. It doesn't fight me. It's like my Assault Vest actually allowed me to live that. and I got another Leech Life off, so I got a little bit more health back, which is good there. So that Mew's got some interesting characters as well as his letter. So that's 4 Pokemon down. I'm like, okay, this is going all right here. Next Pokemon's going to be Metagross. That was a weird, I don't know, the weird, I think I got to see underneath stadium. Now, this Metagross, there's only level 75, right? This is only a level 75 Metagross, which was actually disguised as a Zoroark. So Zoroark gets hit there, because when I hit it with Leech Life, I'm like, even a level 75 Metagross is not going to go down in one shot, right? So the Metagross is their last Pokemon. So I got a bit of health left there. I thought they may actually try, may even go for a Sucker Punch or a priority move, but they didn't. So Metagross is their last Pokemon. They're going to get hit by the spikes. It is also level 75. I've got Sucker Punch, like, I should be able to take this out, right? I almost did. Very, very close, right? But since I got so much health back from those previous Pokemon, Metagross is absolutely not going to be able to flank me with Zen Headbutt, so I take that easy. Just due to me being a higher level, right? Then they salty cancel the battle, and that is the end of it. So I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. We've got some wild, like, no restrictions battle. I have no idea what a lesson from that battle, don't try and disrespect with a not very effective move, right? It can sometimes backfire. Next battle here, this is another random battle here, and there was a lot of no restrictions battle. Like I said, I had about 10 of them in a row. I don't know why people kept asking for them, but I was like, you know what, I'll just keep doing them, right? It's not like my team's overpowered, it's super weak. So I was thinking about this, I was like, well, are you going to use Bitter Blade or what? Should I go for Sucker Punch? And then they went for the Heat Wave there, which kind of surprised me. So, I mean, it was a fire move anyway. I couldn't use Counter because it was a Ghost type either. So, I'm going to use Sticky Web this turn. I felt that was a little bit more important. I might be able to help out my Spidops there. So, I got that one going, which is good. Now I've got Sucker Punch, and I've got actually max in attack, so I thought this will be alright damage, and I did. It was good, but I didn't activate any abilities. I didn't have weak armor, so this obviously has Flash Fire. So that's the end of Tarountula, which is fine. So I thought, well, I can bring in my second Tarountula and go for Sucker Punch and conserve my counter for the next Pokemon, which is hopefully a physical attacker. That was my thought process anyway. So I went for that, and that's the end of the Cerulege, which is good. I think I would have, I'd say I would have fainted one with both of them anyway, even if it was level 100, but I may have needed weak armor, right? So in comes Lycanroc. This is a heavy counter on my team too. Any rock moves. It was only level 63, right? But watch this. It's Stone Edge, and it still took me down to my 1 HP. This is how weak this team was, right? So on this turn, I guess it didn't matter whether it was level 1 or level 100. I took it out with a counter anyway, so that was worked out pretty well. And I was worried about crits for that Pokemon too. So next Pokemon is going to be Cyclizar. So I thought, oh no, this might pass off a Shed Tail. This could be really bad. So I thought, look, I could go for Sucker Punch here, or I could go for Spikes. If I go for Spikes, I'll get something out of it. If I go for Sucker Punch, it might fail here. I wasn't really sure, but I wasn't really in a position to do much. I was really trying to think, what should I do here? Am I going to get completely swept now? This team got swept a lot. It wasn't hard to sweep this team, right? So I decided to go for the Spikes here, and that's going to set those up nicely. And I got outspent. I was like, even with the level difference, like what? So now it's going to use Dragon Pulse, and Dragon Pulse is going to take out Tarountula. So like, okay, I guess I made the right decision there. So we're going to go into our first Spidops here. So both my Tarantullas, did a wonderful job there against these a little bit lower level Pokemon. Then they use Shed Tails. Like, okay, fair enough. So at least that's going to take some Spikes damage, the incoming Pokemon. So the Pokemon to come into this matchup is going to be a Vaporeon. So Vaporeon is going to be, I know it's going to be tanky. They're going to have a speed drop there, which is good, and a bit of Spikes damage, which is okay. I don't have any Toxic Spikes on the field, which is a bit, very unfortunate. I would have loved to have that on the field, so I tried to get them up. Now, I still have the red card attached, which is good, and I can go for yet another one. So I outspent the Vaporeon here. This was a little bit lower level as well. I had like a whole bunch of lower level Pokemon, I believe, on this team. And now they're going to go for Hydro Pump. It really didn't matter what attacking move they used here. I wanted red card to activate. The only thing about red card, if you get one shot and it's not going to activate, that's a problem running, on something like Spidops too. So Vaporeon's going to get swapped out. That's the end of their substitute. And in comes the Luxray. So Luxray didn't have Intimidate. And this this is an interesting ability because I believe this didn't have guts either. I actually believe this was a rivalry set, so you don't get to see rivalry very often on a Pokemon. I've actually done a rivalry ability Pokemon team before. So I've got Circle Throw, I've got Spikes. I'm thinking, well, I've got a couple more Pokemon in the end there. You know, I may as well use this opportunity to set some Spikes up there. Try and set up my last Spidops to sweep through, you know, the rest of this team. That was my idea anyway. So now they're going to go for a Crunch here. That did obviously nothing. And they've got that toxic damage, so they're not going to be around for very long. In fact, I feel like I could probably beat them with Circle Throw, you know. It did so little damage. So I'm going for another layer of Spikes. I thought, let's set up all the Spikes I possibly can, and, you know, then I'll start attacking the Luxray. It was okay, like, a lot of damage. Then they went for the Volt Switch. Volt Switch actually did a lot more damage to me, which makes me sort of think that was what the ability and stuff like that was. So out goes Luxray, and in comes Meowscarlet. So Meowscarlet wasn't actually that much of a threat, you know, in terms of typing and stuff like that, because, you know, normally I could get around it with a bug type move and things like that. So they took some toxic damage there and some bad things, and, you know, their health was, you know, chipped away a lot there, which was really, really cool. So I've got Circle Throw. I don't know, they were all around the 70 sort of mark in their levels too, which was interesting. I don't know why. Maybe they just could be bothered leveling their team up, or they were having they were playing through a new game or something. Anyway, they set up a grassy terrain, and I just Circle Throwed them. So grassy terrain is actually going to help me out a little bit more because it's going to heal me. So we got the next Pokemon here being the Vaporeon, and somehow my Spidops is still alive somehow, and the Vaporeon is going to take more damage, and it's also going to get poisoned this time. So if it's got any forms of, well, I mean, if it had Rest, it doesn't matter, but if it had any, like, you know, Calm Mind and things like that. Then the Vaporeon had a Lumberry, which very cute as poison. It's like, all right, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. So I took a Hydro Pump there, and I went for another Circle Throw. So I'm sort of cycling through their team here with this Spidops, which is, I don't know, I have to actually do a Spidops sweep this year. I'd like to do one, and I'm trying to come up with a set that's going to work. I'm thinking a good one with, like, Circle Throw, like getting all the entry hazards up there, you know, Stealth Rock Spikes, Toxic Spikes, Sticky Web, like, and then just phasing the entire team, right? That's sort of going to be my idea for a Spidops sweep. But it's going to be hard because it's not fast, and, you know, it doesn't really hit all that hard. And you're going to have to tank moves as well and outspeed things. So I got to try and think of something kind of cool there. Anyway, so Luxray's going to hit me again there, and it's going to swap out and take more damage. And Psychozard comes in, so I noticed Psychozard didn't actually get its health back. So this one wasn't a regenerator set. It was a Shed Skin set, right? So Shed Skin's got a 33% chance of healing any status. Not that it mattered, because I hit it in the face and it's got to faint there. So we're getting my utility Spidops sweeping the rest of these under-level Pokemon out, right? So Vaporeon's going to come in there. It's going to take some more Spikes damage, and it's going to get re-poisoned again there. Wait, is it going to faint this turn? I think it's going to faint. Oh, it's going to faint the next turn. Okay, I was like, it's going to be very, very close, right? I actually did a video too. Speaking of entry hazards, I fainted a Pokemon just with entry hazards from full health. I've actually done that. I think I called it something like, can you faint a Pokemon at full health with entry hazards? Like, it's actually a really, really good video. You should watch it out. It was from Sword and Shield era too. So, interesting video. Anyway, so that's going to be the end of my first Spidops, and we're going to go into the last one here, and we're going to be able to clean up these last couple of Pokemon easy peasy. So, I've got Trailblaze. That's going to be super effective, and down goes the Vaporeon. The last Pokemon is the Luxray from earlier on, the mix set with Crunch and Volt Switch, but I can use anything I like against this. I don't think it's got a lot. Yeah, it doesn't have much. So what I did here, I decided to go for the Terra Water and finish them off here. But man, when I was using this team, this team got beaten so many times because, you know, it wasn't a very hard team to beat there. The way I would improve Spidops, like, how would you improve Spidops as a Pokemon? I know it's a support Pokemon. I know that's its role. What would you do? Like, I feel like it needs more bulk to it. Like, I don't know. Like, and being a mono bug type as well, that doesn't really do it any favors or anything like that. Its abilities, I don't know, man. Like, maybe give it something like, I don't know. It's Stakeout's such an ability that's very, very difficult to make use of. So niche, right? I don't know. Maybe give it something that really benefits. Maybe give it like speed boost or something. Then again, like, I mean, spiders can go fast, I guess. Anyway, so the last battle here, this is a pretty funny battle. This one's against Super Bowser, and we got a 4v4 battle. Now, this was 4 Meloettas versus my team. Now, you will not believe what happened here. So, the first Pokemon is a Meloetta, and it's going to use Metronome. So, you guys know how good my Metronome luck is lately. It used Blast Burn. I was like, oh, this is terrible. So, that's going to take my Tarountula down to 1 health. So, not a very good start already. So, I went for the counter. I was hoping for a physical set or a physical move. And, you know, it failed, right? So I was like, all right, I'll go Sucker Punch or Toxic Spikes on the recharge. So I thought Sticky Web down here, right? So we got the Sticky Web. I've got the speed advantage there, hopefully, with my, you know, my last Spidops. But watch this, right? Meloetta goes to the Metronome. Keep watching, and then it uses Court Change. I'm like, come on, that's so lucky. It was like last time, right? So the Sticky Web with Court Change now gets put back on my side of the field. So they've got Blast Burn and Court Change. Like, that's a wild Metronome luck there. That's like, and then if you see my Dunsparce sweep last night, that's some of the worst luck you'll ever see in your life in Pokemon with Metronome. Anyway, they went for Aromatic Mist there. So that's a doubles move. So I don't know, I sort of resigned myself that Tarountula was going to faint anyway, so I just went for Toxic Spikes, right? So I managed to get one of those up. I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and set up on this thing. Hopefully it doesn't get any more attacking moves. And then it got roll out. I'm like, no, that's bad. So I was like, well, at least here, at least I can swap in my next Tarountula. I know that it's going to use roll out. And then I can use counter on it, right? That'd be good, right? So I'm getting hit by my own Sticky Web, which is always good. I feel like spiders shouldn't even be, they shouldn't be affected by Sticky Web. It's a spider, right? They spin a web, you know? I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like if you're a spider-like Pokemon, but then we're sort of going to animals and stuff, and Pokemon really hasn't covered those kind of things before. I mean, they could cover more like real-life things that make sense, but you know, there are a lot of things in Pokemon that don't make sense, right? Anyway, so in comes Meloetta. I went for Sucker Punch. Good damage there. I was happy with that. And this is going to go for Relic Song. So there's going to be quite a few form changes for Meloetta. So Meloetta's Relic Song is now going to change it into the Pirouette form. Pirouette form is definitely more of a physical attacker here. So I would have liked to, I wish I had a couple more Tarantulas left, but that's how it was. So I thought, well, we're going to Spidops here. This is my, this is how I sort of ordered this team. I got all the entry adds up, as many as I could, then I sent my last Spidops in. Like, you guys have been watching, right? So I went for the Silk Trap here. Silk Trap works, any contacting moves there, it drops the opponent's speed by 1 stage. I mean, that can help a bit with Spidops speed, but you know, it's not that great. So they went for Relic Song again. Relic Song is a special move. So I thought, oh, this is good. I can go for Circle Throw and Fainter, right? So here comes a Relic Song, and I've got the red card as well. I lived that one really, really nicely, but guess what happened? I got the red card here, right? Which is going to fling out the Meloetta. And guess what? We have the next Meloetta coming here, which is the normal one. Actually, no, this is the shiny. Was that the Cherish one for Pokemon? I think it was the one for Pokemon Home anyway. So I got that poison, which is good. So things are going pretty nicely here, right? And I went for the Circle Throw. And Circle Throw missed. I was like, what? So this has got a troll item, right? It's got like Bright Powder, right? So it's got Bright Powder or Laxative Incense. I was like, all right, well, that was salty. So I went for the Circle Throw again. Now it's going to use Perish Song. So this is like some troll set that, put you away in a couple of turns, right? So I did Circle Throw. I'm going to swap it out there because it probably had like Protect and, some way of maybe trapping me in or stalling me, right? So next Pokemon is Meloetta, the earlier Meloetta, right? This is the one that already changed into Pirouette form, but, if you have a Pirouette form and you swap it out, it changes back towards its normal form. If you like Meloetta, I've done an entire team of it. Anyway, they're going to land a Sing right off the ripper there with that amazing accuracy, and my Spidops is going to be sleeping. And of course, this Spidops doesn't have Insomnia. It has Stake out of the sense. But with these evolution teams, I like to use all the abilities. I don't just like to use the best abilities on a team. I like to use them all. So now Meloetta, it can swap out there. And we've got another Meloetta. I think this is the last one. No, this is the one from earlier on. This is the shiny one from home. I reckon they're going to bring out the rest of the shiny lot, or a lot more shiny lot Pokemon. So I reckon they might bring out like Hooper and Volcanion soon. So I was down to my last turn of Parasong here. I was asleep. I was like, what am I going to do, right? I'm asleep. I'm just going to let this thing faint, right? So it attacked me with the Relic Song and Spidops, it fainted anyway. So that was definitely a good decision there. So now we got the Pirouette form again. And I've got my last Spidops. There is no way I'm going to ever be able to outspeed this Pokemon. So I've got Sucker Punch and I've got Leech Life. They're going to be my best move to use there. That's going to be my very, very best move to use. So I'm also, we've got the same sort of pink color. They've got that, I don't know what you call that. It looks like a towel wrapped around. Kind of looks like I don't know, what is that on top of Meloetta? It sort of looks like a towel or a hat or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to go for... it kind of looks like, when you get a shower, right? You got, say you had a lot of hair, and then you wrap the towel around your hair, you wrap it around, you leave it on there, that kind of thing. So anyway, it's going to be Confusion Set. Like, all right, that's going to do nothing. I'm fine, right? It's a Life Orb Confusion Set. Only on PIMPNITE Shadow. I'm going to go for the Terra Blast Water here. And that should do some good damage, and it just takes it out thanks to the toxic damage there. My goodness, Spidops, you have no physical or special prowess at all. You're just a setup Pokemon, and that's it. Next Pokemon is going to be, this is the Wishgranta Meloetta. I've got Sucker Punch. I was like, let's get my speed up, right? We'll get that speed up. Now it's going to use the Relic Song. Now, as you guys know, this thing has Serene Grace, right? And Relic Song has a 10% chance to put you to sleep. So that's a 20% chance, and I got put to sleep by Relic Song. So I was, I was really happy about that one. So I went for Sucker Punch there on this turn, but I was asleep. So I went for that on the next turn, and the Meloetta can virtually go for any attacking move here and faint me, right? So I've got Sucker Punch, which is not very effective, and I just wait for that. I actually woke up here, which is really, really cool, and I managed to get it off, and obviously it didn't take it out, but it's going to do the next turn. Then they're going to use Relic Song again here on my Spidops, and I actually managed to lift that, which is really, really cool. And it's going to do another transformation into the normal Meloetta. So I know I can take this thing out with Sucker Punch, but, it's on 1 health, so I can definitely take it out. If they swap a Pokemon out, it's going to faint, right? So I've got Sucker Punch here to take it out, and we got one more Meloetta. We haven't seen the last Meloetta yet, but I don't know what sort of set it is. So I went for the Sucker Punch there. It was lightning quick, and we got one more left. But, man, I knew I wasn't going to outspeed this because I had, I had Sticky Web down. So my only play was to go for Sucker Punch, but I haven't seen any sort of terrors either yet. So I was thinking, well, I'll just go for that. I mean, Leech Life would be good because I got a lot of health back, but I'm going to be, outsped by this Pokemon. Like, easy peasy, right? So I was hoping for something. You would still be weak to Sucker Punch, and I got like a Sympathy crit, right? A Mega crit. But it turned out it was Terra Normal. I'm like, oh no, that's bad. So I don't know what sort of move this is going to be, but it's going to be something mean. So I have Sucker Punch, and they're going to use Terra Normal Relic Song. No way I'm living that. That is the end of the battle. Hope you enjoyed it, people. This was a really, really hard team to do. I'm glad I managed to get some fun battles to entertain you all. If you liked it, drop a like there. Leave a comment. I always, read my comments and stuff, and I'll catch you tomorrow for some streams and videos. Also got some more theme teams coming up too soon. Peace out, everyone.